Welcome to part 5 of the digital color wheel assignment. And what we want to do now is we want to start putting the color photographs that you took and put them into this middle section here. And what we have right here is something that we're going to use for the clipping mask. And I can just alt click and drag. We'll go ahead and find a red image here that you've taken as a photograph, and we'll bring it into Photoshop. And the one thing we've already done in Photoshop is taken all these images and made a small version of them. So you took these photos, you resized them here and made a folder in here called low res. And we're going to open up this one here in Photoshop. And we will take this mask right here and we're going to copy it. Command C, or if you need to go up here and hit copy right here, Command C or Control C, we'll copy it. We'll go right back to Photoshop here, and then we'll paste it, which is Command V. Let's go ahead and paste it in as a smart object. That's just fine. And what you want to do here, you can resize this, or however you want to do this. You can hold the corner. Make sure you hold Shift as you scale this up. And you can put it over the part of the red object that you want to use. Let's just say I want to use this section right here. I'll hit return on the keyboard to engage this size. And then I will hold command, click on the smart layer, and it will make this shape a selection. So then we go to the bottom layer here, the background layer, and we hit Command C or Control C on a PC for copy. And we go back to Illustrator and we hit Command V or Control V for paste. Okay. The only problem with this is it is super large, so we need to scale it down. And here's the pieces that came from the middle here. If you want to use these for something, you can, but I'm just going to set this out of the way. Or if you want to delete it, that's fine, but I'm just going to set it out of the way. I'll put this here. And I'm going to zoom in on this. And what you want to do, you don't want to scale this one, you want to scale this one, the big picture. You want to scale that down. And also you want to bring this one to front. Arrange, bring to front, and I'm going to set it right here. I'll take this, I'll scale this down. And hopefully you remember this from the typography assignment. You select both of these, right click, and make a clipping mask. Also, you can do that right here, go the long way, and then there's make clipping mask, which is also Command 7 or Control 7. So now we have this masked out right here. And then something else you could do that was kind of cool is I can take this shape that is going to be used for red. Let's bring it to front. Bring to front. I can make the fill be blank, and then I can make the stroke. I'll look at the RGB here. I'll go to red, and it will be 255. This one will be 0. This one will be 0. 255, 0, 0 for RGB. And then another thing, you want to go to the stroke here, and you can stroke this to the center, inside, or the outside. For this one right here, we'll stroke it to the inside, and you may want to make that stroke a little bit thicker. And I'm going to go ahead and make it one more thickness here. So now I have this as a 3-point stroke. I know that it's truly red because I told it to be red. And one other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do this cool little effect here. I'm going to stylize it, do a drop shadow. I'm going to make this 0, this 0, and multiply is just fine. Let me preview it to see what it looks like. That looks good. And I'm going to just have a little drop shadow on there. I will group these. You can group them by hitting Command G, or you can right click if they're all selected. Right click it and you can say group. I'll take this red thing with the photograph, and I'll just set it right there. So it's right there on top. You may want to take this pie piece that's in here, delete it, depending on how you want your design to look. I'm going to set that one right in here. So let's go ahead and go to red-orange. The problem with red-orange, we don't have a red-orange photograph. We've got this one, which is red. We also have one in here that's orange. So we got red and orange, but we never did take a photograph of red-orange. So let's pick one of these. I'm going to go ahead and say I'm going to pick these. So I'm going to pick these, and I'm going to find a section on here. Let me paste this in here, just kind of look. I'm going to find a section on here that I think is red-orange. That looks pretty good down here. And then I'm going to help this along by doing, oh, I need to hit enter. I'm going to help this along by doing an adjustment layer. So what you can do on these adjustment layers is I'm going to go to hue and saturation, and I can help this be one direction or another. So I'm going to take the hue and maybe put it right there, and that is going to be my red-orange. I think I'm going to pick a section right around there. So then I'll take this. I need to move my Vector Smart object here, and I'm going to set it right here. I'm going to make this a selection. I'm going to turn the eyeball off on this one. I'm going to go to this layer here. I'm going to do a little tricky thing. I'm going to hold Command, Option, Shift, and the letter E, and it's going to give me a little composite of these two layers. And then I will take this selection here. I'll copy this, take it back to Illustrator, paste it. There's my red-orange. Let me shrink it down to be the size that I'm hoping for. I'll take this, and I just made it too small. I'll take this, I'm going to Alt-click and drag, set it right about there. I need to bring it to front. The shortcut for that is Command, Shift, and the right bracket. I'm going to select these, and it selected this. If you hold Shift and click that, you can deselect this. So I have these selected, right-click, make clipping mask. And then I'll take this stroke here, I'll set it on top, I'll bring it to front with Command, Shift, right bracket. I will give it no stroke. I'll take the, no fill, yes stroke. I'm going to take the eyedropper tool, and I'm going to eyedropper this red right here. So now I'm going to go to my colors. I do want to show all the options here, and I'm going to slide the slider over, see if I can get it to be more of a red-orange, something like that. So now also I'll take this object, I'm going to say apply drop shadow, and hopefully it'll use the same formula that we used for this one. It looks like it has. So I'll select those, group them, and I'll slide this one right into place. Hopefully you're getting the idea of how this works. And I'm going to get rid of this one here. The one thing I did neglect is I didn't move the stroke to the inside. So I am going to show you that right now. Here is the stroke to the inside. I'll go back to the black arrow tool here, and I am going to put that into position right here. May have to nestle it over using the keyboard arrows, something like that. Not quite getting it into perfect position, but that looks okay right there. There's red-orange. Let's try orange now. I'm going to copy this. Well, let's do a color. Let's do yellow-green, just so I can show you another how to do another layer adjustment here. So let's say we want yellow-green. I'm going to take this. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go to Photoshop. I'm going to open up our file. Either look at the yellow one, we can make that one yellow-green, or we can look at the green one and try to make that one yellow-green. Let's open up the green one here. Nothing on here do I see looks exactly yellow-green, so I'm going to scale this up here. So maybe something right here with the bubbles, we can make that yellow-green. Last time we did use hue and saturation. Let's try a different one. Let's try color balance. Let's try color balance and just pushing this over to the yellow. Something like that. And I'm going to see if I can push this green here. And I'm going to look at this. Look at this. This over here is looking yellow-green, but my color balance is not going the way. Hey, there we go. So I had to move this into the red. Now I'm starting to get some yellow-green. So I'm going to move my Vector Smart object right here. Something else that might help you is this auto select, but if your Vector Smart object is below your color balance, that's not going to be very helpful at all. So you can just go to your layers over here to be on the layer that you want. I think this is the yellow-green that I want. I'm going to go to Command, click to get my selection. Then I'm going to turn the eyeball off on this. I'm going to go to this layer here, hit Command, Option, Shift, and the letter E, and I get a little composite layer of all the layers underneath, except I don't want that layer on. And then I copy this, Command C, or you can do the slow way and go to Edit, Copy. I'm going to go back to Illustrator, Command V for paste. Obviously it's too big. I'm going to scale it down. I'll slide it out of my way here. I'll go to the yellow-green pie piece that I want. I'm going to bring it to front and take my yellow-green pie piece, scale it down to approximately the size that I want. Something like this. Right-click, make clipping mask. Go to this here. I'm going to make it no fill. My stroke, I'm going to eyedropper. There's the eyedropper. There it is. I'm going to eyedropper this to make it my stroke. I'll have to hold Shift when I click it, and it makes the stroke green. If you forget to hold Shift, no big deal. You can click it. It just makes the fill green. You can swap it. Let me make my stroke 3. I'll put it on top of our mask. Make sure to bring it to front. Command Shift right bracket, and you can apply the drop shadow. Select it all, group it, put it right into place. Zoom in on it if you need to. The shortcut for the zoom tool is the letter Z. Just in case you want to use the shortcut on the keyboard, I'm going to just delete that. You just push delete on the keyboard, that will delete it. And I'm just going to put this into place. And here is my yellow-green. I neglected again to put that stroke on the inside. Let's try that right now. Here's the inside. And that's how you do the color photos on the inside of this color wheel.